Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. It's Wednesday. Welcome to the channel. Tonight's presentation, I've got a great one for you. A lot of talk about Palantir. I know this is Glenn's, one of his babies, right? One of his pride and joys. Put this stock on your radar as early as like 10 or 15 bucks. This is a while ago. But that being said, I want to know if Palantir is still king of the hill, if it's still the best software security stock in the VectorVest database. We already know that this technology is crucial for AI and defense applications going forward. So tonight's presentation, we're going to jump right into the VectorVest 7 software. Take a look at the top 5 stocks in the software security space. Take a look at Palantir, see how it matches up to some of its competitors, and see if there's any other stocks with great potential in the space. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you want to see some of the best software companies to have on your radar, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're in the VectorVest 7 software. And the first thing I want to tell you, look at this. We're just looking at the top 5. There's 45 stocks found in the software security space. That being said, look, Palantir, still king of the hill at the top of the list. These stocks are in order by our master indicator, VST. This is just overall value, safety, and timing, the 3 columns before it. These indicators on a 0 to 2 scale. Above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. Further you get away from 1 speaks to the magnitude of that favor. Now, just looking at price action today, not the most optimistic or bullish day for this industry as of right now. So I'm not going to tell you that, you got to rush and, jump into these positions by any means. No, you can see the R down today. Arlo, the only one in positive territory. Now, this space, heads up, overvalued by nature. Just by comparing price to value, we can see Palantir, we value the company at $13, currently trading at $138, Fortinet $101 compared to $77, Arlo $17 compared to $10, Cloudflare $180 to $16, CyberArk $389 compared to $99. So investors are willing to pay a premium for these type of stocks in general, right? And just if I scroll over to the right here and just look at some of these PE ratios, you can see very high multiples when it comes to these PE ratios. If you want some kind of value in the space here, you're probably going to look at Fortinet or Arlo. You see the PE ratio here in the 30s compared to Palantir's 261, Cloudflare 237, Cyber 117. So I'm just going to give you the heads up right away. Most of these stocks treat like momentum trades. I wouldn't be getting emotionally attached to these companies, right? Because you see they're just way overvalued right now. And when we go through the charts, we're going to look at the valuation of these companies because really importantly, I want to see the value rising. If I don't see the value rising, then I'm definitely going to stick to the technicals when it comes to these positions. But overall, if you look at fundamentals here, pretty solid. I mean, not the best ratings. If we look at RV, unfavorable when it comes to Palantir and Arlo Tech. RV looks at long-term price appreciation potential, right? Compared to a AAA corporate bond. So you can see for long-term positioning here, not a lot of potential for some of these positions like Cloudflare, 0.65, lowest in the bunch. Arlo Tech, 0.98. Palantir, 0.67. If you are looking for potential for the long term here or more longer term positions in general, check out Fortinet, check out Cyber. You see RV's above 1 here, favorable territory. And as far as safety, 1 stock in the bunch here with the RS below 1. We got Arlo Tech coming at 0.77. The others, pretty solid safety ratings here. Fortinet at the top of the list, 1.42. And when it comes to RT, relative timing, let's look at the short-term price trend and the magnitude of that trend, right? You can see some big movers here with Palantir 1.77, Arlo 1.84, and Cloudflare 1.81. So these stocks are on the move. So if you're a momentum trader, you want to capture some momentum, definitely pay attention to these. Now, if you're looking for stocks with not so much momentum, but still in an uptrend, you can take a look at Fortinet here. Consider Fortinet along with CyberArk, RT's still favorable, but that momentum and the magnitude of that momentum, not as great as the other positions, right? So not as quick movers. As far as CI ratings, pretty favorable, pretty strong CI ratings. So a lot of these stocks are continuing to hit new highs. Arlo struggling to do so at 0.53. Again, we'll take a look at that information on the chart here. But look, buy recommendations across the bunch. And this is why people are excited about the space. Look at the growth rate and earnings. Strong numbers here. A lot of great forecasted data. If I scroll over to the sales growth rate, You can see again, double digits across the board here. The only company with a negative sales growth rate is going to be Arlo Tech. So with this information in hand, let's go ahead and jump into the charts and see if there's any trade setups or money to potentially be made. All right, we're going to start with the king of the hill first, Palantir at the top of the list. Again, 45 stocks in this industry. Palantir still ranks #1 by overall value, safety, and timing within the VectorVest 7 system. So let's take a look at it. Look, price action back on the rise here. Nice, steady, lower left to the upper right over the last few months. As long as price action stays above that 20-day EMA, hey, I'm not going to be too concerned. But what I do like recently, price action just broke out of this 134 level, hitting a new high as of 2 days ago. We're looking for the retest on that. I want to see a nice pivot to the upside for the bulls to make sure this trend can continue. If we break this 134 level, we're going to be stuck back in the consolidation zone between there and 118. So if price action continues to decline below 118, definitely get defensive on this position. But as of right now, no real concerns there. Again, just looking for the pivot, looking for the retest here on the 134 as price action retraces over the last 2 trading sessions. Now, look at the valuation. It is flat. It remains flat, right? So the stock, again, I'm going to stick to the technicals on this position, but with growth rate and earnings on the rise, sales growth rate coming in at 39%, 25% respectively for the earnings growth rate, I still like Palantir overall. Next up is going to be Fortinet. You can see the price action overvalued here, but look, value got a little bit more life into it. It is on the rise over the last few months here. Now the rally we've seen here, right? You can see the trend line, price action breaking this trend line, retesting it from the bottom end. But again, look, price action not very lively right now. So if you're going to play this position, I'm looking for a breakout. You can see the top of the channel here around 105, the bottom of this channel coming in around $100 here, about $99. So if you see price action break above this consolidation, get bullish on it. If you see price action break below, I would get bearish. But look for confirmation, look for strong volume to show me some conviction in either direction, because the moving averages right now pretty consolidated, a lot of crisscross there. So again, don't get whipsawed if you're not already in this position. Look for the confirmation to the upside or the downside, play it accordingly. But the forecasted data, again, on the rise over the last 6 months here, coming in at 23%, 14% respectively. Value on the rise, buy ratings in place here. I see why investors are excited about this stock. Here we've got Arlo, a lot of life in the stock over the last 3 months here. You see price action, nice jump from about $10, almost doubling, coming at $17.41 right now. We see the 3 above the 8, price action well above the 20-day EMA. Buy ratings in place. So the technicals look good here. Clearly it's an overbought situation, so stay disciplined. Maybe put a trend line on here, play it to the upside, right? But you can see valuation, it does have some life into it. It is rising a little bit, but again, a lot of these stocks are overvalued. But what concerns me about this stock here, look at the growth rate and earnings on the decline. Sales growth rate on the decline actually went negative, coming in at -4% growth rate. Finishing up even with the decline here at 22%. I do like that number, but negative sales growth rate, cannot get behind that from a fundamental standpoint. So I'm going to play this from a technical perspective, maybe even utilize something like Star Search, which will help capture profit with high momentum stocks. Here's another position hitting a new 6-month high here coming in place. As of today, a little rejection at today's high coming at 180 here, currently trading at 180.58. However, price action, nice retest on this 20-day EMA. So as long as price action stays above that 20-day EMA, I'm going to be bullish on the position. Buy ratings in place, right? So if you're not already in it and you're looking for confirmation, take out today's high at 182.96. Now, just like Palantir, not a lot of life in the valuation of this company, right? We saw the PE ratios, very high multiples. So again, I'm going to tell you, me personally, if I'm going to get into these type of positions, I'm going to stick to the technicals, right? All the forecasted data looks good, but again, investors are willing to pay a premium for these positions. I don't want to get you caught in any kind of crunch or sell off there when it comes to valuation concerns. But the hype is real because look, growth rate and earnings 28%, sales growth rate 27%. They are on the decline, so I'm not too excited about that. Again, Palantir is still looking a lot better than a lot of these positions. If we take a look at the last position here, we've got CyberArk Software. Nice steady Eddie rise here over the last few months. Price action looking to retest that 20-day EMA. If I can get a nice pivot, maybe take out the high 2 days ago. Coming in at 401, just looking for confirmation here. But again, the position overvalued, but with a buy rating, I'm going to play that momentum to the upside. Growth rate and sales growth rate mixed here, with growth rate and earnings on the decline, sales growth rate rising. Sales growth rate does outpace earnings growth rate, 43% compared to 33% for the expected growth rate and earnings. So I do like that when it comes to this position. Now, after looking through these charts, a lot of these companies do show some opportunities when it comes to short-term swing trading or momentum plays. But overall, I do like Palantir, and I can see why it's still king of the hill when it comes to software security. Now, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's presentation. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you tomorrow evening.